Now, as a lot of you knew or know, last year I talked about Superman for his big anniversary and reviewed the four movies with Christopher Reeve, but there was one thing I was going to talk about last year and failed to because I didn't watch a whole lot of it, revisit this series. Well, just more recently, that's changed now, so I'm going to try to make up for lost time and give you this TV log of a really good show from my teenhood. It's Lois and Clark, the new Adventures of Superman, and it's featured in this TV log right now. This is a Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews TV log. Greetings, my fellow YouTubers. I'm Dual, better known to you as the Big D, and this time it's another TV log here on Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Today I'm going to be talking about a superhero show, and it's one I did get to watch for most of the part here when it was shown on TV. And just more recently, I got to revisit this show a bit last year and and then I got back on it again more recently this year. It's kind of a new telling of, well, one of the first big superheroes we've ever come to know. A superhero who recently celebrated its 85th anniversary last year. Well, get ready because I'm about to talk about what was a really good show. But it only lasted 4 seasons and kind of left us hanging on by a thread in a way in its finale. So here it is. I bring to you Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman. Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman was a sci-fi adventure series with a little bit of fantasy, romance, drama, and all that jazz. It, of course, is based on the Superman characters published in DC Comics. The show originally premiered on ABC in September of 1993, and it ran for 4 seasons and was produced by Warner Brothers. Now then, the series was developed for TV by Deborah Joy Levine and loosely followed the modern origin of Superman established by writer John Byrne, in which Clark Kent is, of course, the true personality and Superman of disguise. Now, the series focuses on the relationship and romance between the titular characters of Lois and Clark, as much as the adventures of Superman. Now, of course, the premise of this starts out in May of '66, where Jonathan and Martha Kent witness the crash landing of a small spaceship in Schuster's Field outside of Smallville, Kansas. They discover the baby Kal-El inside and raise him as their own, naming him Clark Jerome Clark. The series opens 27 years later on the day Clark moves to Metropolis after leaving his position as a newspaper editor of Smallville Press and interviews for a job at the Daily Planet under editor Perry White. Clark becomes acquainted with photographer Jimmy Olsen and gossip columnist Cat Grant, who unfortunately only appeared in the first season, but I'll get to that in a little bit. Metropolis is a much more vibrant place than Smallville, but also more dangerous, and Clark becomes concerned at the difficulty of using his superhuman powers to help people without exposing his extraterrestrial nature and therefore ruining all chance for a normal life. His solution is to wear a costume enabling him to freely use his powers in an alternate identity. He also frequently has to find a way to use his powers in secret without the opportunity to discreetly change into costume. Soon after being hired at the planet, Clark is partnered with star reporter Lois Lane, and Clark falls in love with her, but she instead becomes infatuated with Clark's alter ego, naming him Superman, while initially dismissing Clark as a dim-witted and sentimental hick where Clark excels at reporting human interest stories. Lois specializes in exposing political scandals and criminal operations, leading to her frequently ending up in perilous situations from which Superman must rescue her. In time, Clark earns Lois's respect after she sees his intelligence and competency, excuse me, as a reporter along his morality and kindness to others, and they become friends. A hologram projecting globe later reveals to Clark that he was not abandoned by his biological parents, but that they sent him to Earth in order to save him from the destruction of his home planet. which his parents were unable to escape. Superman's mission interferes with the illegal dealings of Lex Luthor, a metropolis business giant and philanthropist. Superman alone knows of Luthor's evil nature, and Luthor perceives Superman as a worthy opponent and a relief from his ennui. Now then, this show really got pretty good reviews when it first started. Now, I had actually seen this show as a teen, but not all the time. I got to watch most of its early seasons and what have you. It did fine in the ratings at first. It was kind of a minor hit at first, but then it managed to do better in its third season, where it became the 44th most watched program. But by its fourth season, it took a hard hit. And after 4 seasons, and the show leaving us hanging on by a thread, well, it ended. But right after its cancellation, it later got aired on TNT, and the series got to be available on Max, where almost all the series except for one was available. But if you're a full-time Max subscriber, well, if you're a subscriber to the actual Max app, then I'm pretty sure you see them all. Now, the series also got nominated for numerous awards, winning one of them for Best Genre Television Series at the Saturn Awards in 1994. The series is also available on physical media on DVD, where it was first released in its first season in June of 2005, then a half a year later in January of 2006, and then June 2006 the third season followed, and on November 14th, I'll give the date, in 2006, the final season came out. It's never been released in a complete series form, however. But nevertheless, it was still a pretty good show. Jay Gruska composed the series score. Sorry, I almost said film. Sorry about that. There have been numerous novels and other things that followed the series itself. The series is well known for its big cast. Playing Clark Kent and Superman is Dean Cain, who I really was surprised that after the series was about to come to an end, he actually married late great 90s country superstar Mindy McCready. Playing Lois Lane is future Desperate Housewife star Teri Hatcher, who I absolutely loved her as Lois in this series. Perry White is played by Lane Smith, who recently was in the Mighty Ducks just before that. Yes, he played Coach Riley of the Hawks. Jimmy Olsen was played by two different people. In the first season, he was played by Michael Lance, but they let him go because he looked because he just kind of looked more close to looking like Mr. Cain, and so taking his place was Justin Whalen, who recently had appeared in numerous TV shows and as a teenage Andy Barkley in Child's Play 3. Tracy Scoggins appears in the first season as Cat Grant, and only the first season. And we have Kay Callan as Martha Kent and A. Jones as Jonathan Kent. And then we have John Shea as Lex Luthor. Unfortunately, he was only in the first season and then was put as a guest in the second season throughout. Let me explain. For the first season, Hatcher and Cain received critical praise for their performances. It started pretty well. Now, Luthor develops an interest in Lois and for most of the season tries to woo her, although she is receptive to his romantic advances and she remains infatuated with Superman. But she develops feelings for Clark, but represses or denies them. And Luthor orchestrates multiple illegal schemes to acquire profit and power, in most cases with even Superman never realizing his involvement, and unable to prove that involvement in those cases where he is aware of it. The series, the season concluded with a two-part story in which Luther's criminal activities are publicly exposed, and he commits suicide to escape justice. Now in the second season, Cat Grant was dropped, and Luther was eliminated from the main cast and became an occasional guest character. And Michael Lange was replaced with Justin Whalen. Now, as I've mentioned, the Olsen role was recast because the show's new producers felt that Lance was too similar to Dean Cain in age and type. Well, that's understandable and what have you. Though there was no central villain in this season, the criminal organization Intergang served as an overarching menace. Nearly half of the villains this season were directly or indirectly affiliated with this group. Removal of Lex as the main villain also allowed other villains from the Superman comics to appear, such as the Prankster, Metallo, and Toyman, though they generally went by their civilian names rather than their supervillain codenames. The season also featured the debut of fan favorite villain Tempest, and H.G. Wells appeared as a time traveler, which that was pretty cool too. The third season did pretty well, and Lois responds to Clark's marriage proposal by revealing that she figured out Clark's secret identity during the events of the previous season's finale, and she expresses concern about how she can trust him when he's kept that secret from her for so long. After they separate for a time, she and Clark carry out assignments where they either pose as a married couple or are alone together for an entire weekend, and they resolve their disagreements. And Lois finally accepts Clark's engagement ring in the 7th episode. But ABC announced that the wedding would occur on Valentine's Day weekend and stuff like that. But controversy erupted when the network presented the viewers with a bogus wedding, with Clark unwittingly married to a clone of Lois. But once the real Lois is recovered, well, their wedding plans are again interrupted when two other Kryptonians come to Earth, one of whom claims to be Clark's wife. Oh boy, there was so much to occur. And the final season where it kind of went downhill and what have you. They finally get married and what have you, but however, the rings went down and what have you. The series ended on a cliffhanger in which Lois and Clark find an infant in Clark's old bassinet, along with a note that claimed the child belonged to them. Executive producer Brad Buckner and writer for the third and fourth seasons later revealed the planned story was that the child was Kryptonian royalty stashed by his mother to keep him safe from assassins. Well, they wanted to try to do another season, but due to this, they just couldn't do it. And that's that. Anyway, the series also did get rerun on the Hub as well. I almost forgot they re-aired that, which of course that's a Discovery Family Channel to you. Anyway, 4 seasons went through with an overall total of 88 episodes produced and aired. There were 22 episodes produced and aired per season. So anyway, I really think it was still pretty good. Anyway, I think Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman is a really, really good show, and it's a great show with great characters and all that jazz. Anyway, think you'll really like it if you give it a shot. If you are a Superman fan, then this is a show for you. So let me go ahead and give you a look at some of the characters. Here's a shot of Superman Lois plus Cat from the first season. Here's a look at the main cast from here on out. This starting with season 2, of course, with the second Jimmy Olsen, Justin Whalen, who I think is exceptionally really good. And here's a shot of Superman Lois with Lex Luthor. As for maybe, well, I'm not sure where I could find a shot of the first Jimmy Olsen, but you're gonna have to watch the show to see him. And a lot of the other characters. There were numerous other characters who appeared on the show, and there was also a pretty good cast of special appearances from well-known stars. Amongst some of them included Blake Tony J, Terry Kaiser, and Hamilton Camp. Two different people play H.G. Wells. Denise Crosby, you may know her from the first season of Star Trek: The Next Generation and Pet Sematary and others. Pierre Boyle, who would later go on to appear on um, Everybody Loves Raymond. He was also Young Frankenstein. Justine Bateman, you may know her from Family Ties. Yeah. Plus many others. Anyway, so now you know about Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman. I think you'll really like this show if you give it a try. The series is currently available on Max. It's also available on DVD. If you can find it for a reasonable price, then I'd say get it. Because this is a great Superman show, and I think you'll really enjoy it. So, what did you think of Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman? I actually did like it from what I've seen. I've seen all episodes. I've seen all 4 seasons. hmm So, oh yeah, the series is also currently available to stream on Tubi. Yeah, they recently got the series earlier this year, so you can watch that on Lois and Clark on Tubi as well. So, now you know about that. So anyway, let me know what you thought about Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman. Tell me what you thought about the show. Leave it for me in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel, make it grow, make the views grow. Please feel free to share my vids with your friends. Get them to know me a little bit. And they may like my channel. Check out my vids. And we'll have another TV log coming up tomorrow where I revisit Batman the Animated Series. So if you like this, consider checking out these other Superman themed vids. In the upper left hand corner is my re-review of Superman the movie from 1978. The upper right hand corner is my recent re-review of Superman Returns from 2006, which has done much better than my original review. Or if you'd like, go to the bottom left hand corner and see the TV log I did for the previous live action Superman themed show, which was canceled just a year before this came out, and that's Superboy, which came out in 1988. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe if you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., as well as the TV log. Then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.